but I will address it from the context of Nigeria, my country. Specifically here in Nigeria, politics triumphs and drives everything that happens within the micro and macroeconomic levels. And it is very, very important. I was just reviewing the economies of Africa vis-a-vis other countries, and it breaks my heart that within the context of politics, we've not been able to get it right. Nigeria today is a $452 billion economy. In fact, the whole of Africa of 1.3 billion people has an economy size of $2.6 trillion, which is even less than the economy of United Kingdom that has only 64 million people. And I say it to everybody who cares to listen. If we get our politics right, if we get our leadership right, especially in Nigeria, Africa will get it right. First of all, we have no reason being a $452 billion sized economy when we can actually be as much as $2.6 to $3 trillion if we get our policy and governance right. You know, a country that is so blessed with the best of human capital, with the best of natural resources, all we need to do is to get the right leadership, get our politics right, and everything will fit into place. I've been in the industry, the financial services sector, for over 21 years, and I've had privilege of speaking to some of those who run the economy of this nation, especially at the Governors Forum. And I tell them, if you look at the economy of Nigeria, when we had our politics right, between 1960 to 1966, we had the fastest growing economy in the whole of the Commonwealth. As at that period, the crude palm oil, which was the mainstay of the old Eastern economy, the Eastern Nigeria economy, was Nigeria could over 45% of that market globally. And if we had continued in that trajectory, if our policies had been right without the military boys truncating it in 1966, by now, Nigeria, from the crude palm oil alone and the value chain, will have been netting over $38 billion outside the fossil fuel. So, like I said, if we get our politics right, looking at it from the context of Nigeria, insecurity is there because we have not gotten our politics right. The macroeconomic instability is there because we have not gotten our politics right. The end of infrastructure is there because we have not gotten our politics right. The fish begins to decay from the head. If we get our politics right and put in the right people within the 3 levels of government, 3 arms of government across the 774 local government area, I bet you, over the next 10 years, Nigeria will lead Africa as a shining light and help us to get to look at the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Nigeria is supposed to be leading it, but we are nowhere to be found. So everything boils down to leadership. Look at Nigeria, from Okonjo-Iweala to Akinwumi Adesina to Arun Mote. Look at the kind of human capital that we are sending out to the world. But within the context of leadership, we have the worst of us lording it over the best of us, and everything has become topsy-turvy because of that single factor. And all boils down to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that is why we clamor and cry and pay every day. If we can restructure the constitutional and physical architecture of this land and get the right human capital to be in the right places across the MDA, I tell you, in the next 10 years, Nigeria will be a real leading light that will drive Africa to the next phase. In fact, the world is waiting for Africa, especially Nigeria, to take up its place in the Community of Nations.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me ask a follow-up question on that. What do you think we can do now? I mean, is it anything? It does have to be voting. What do we do? What are the actions that we can take now?
The actions we should take, that for the technocrats and those who believe and who are convinced that they have value to add, we should not stay away from the political space. We should come in. I give an example. I'm a Christian. I said, if Daniel could survive in the treacherous country called Babylon, if Joseph can thrive in Egypt, everything depends on conviction. We should not stay away from the political space. The technocrats, those who believe that they have value to add should join the political space, join political parties, play your role, help to enlighten the electorate. The major problem we have is illiteracy. Over 52% of Nigerians cannot read or write. So it's our job to come into this space to show example. When you show example, people will follow. Government is out of touch with what is required to grow a decent economy. I will give you an example, that of Nigeria. Nigeria is one country that is so blessed by God with the kind of natural resources and human capital that from the agro sector, the agro value chain alone, we can generate as much as $150 billion every year. Netherlands, with a arable landmass of 14,000 square kilometers, population of 17 million people, less than Lagos State, generates annually over $117 billion from the agro and agro commodity sectors alone. Even from ranching, from the dairy sector in Netherlands, they generate about $7.9 billion annually. 12 million tons of cheese, 800,000 tons of cheese, 12 million tons of milk, and generate over 47,000 jobs from that sector alone. Now look at Nigeria. The SMEs that are supposed to operate within the whole value chain of the agri sector, from the upstream to the midstream to the downstream, are being hampered because of the issue of insecurity. Tell me which other country in the whole world is still operating the open grazing formula? In a country where even the food belt of Nigeria, the north and middle belt, are practically incapacitated because of insecurity. We heard the story about farmers in I think in Zamfara State or Katsina. 41 of them were beheaded because bandits came into their farm where they were harvesting and beheaded them. And we all know that the issue of insecurity, the migration of the terrorists, they hide under S-men, nomadic movement. Any decent government that has some modicum of common sense will have automatically banned open grazing and introduce ranching or agro-pastoral scheme to create peace and harmony and help the small and medium-scale enterprises to grow within that sector. Netherlands has only 1.6 million heads of cow. 1.6 million. Nigeria, we purport records say that we have 19 million. Yet we import $1.5 billion worth of milk annually. We generate the third biggest cocoa export, but we process nothing within the economy. The simple fact remains, today, the palm oil value chain that we used to control 45%, Nigeria that used to, in fact, Malaysia and Indonesia came to Nigeria decades ago to pick their seedling. Today, between Malaysia and Indonesia, they control 85% of the $113 billion crude palm oil market. Nigeria, unfortunately, consumes about 2.4 million tons, but we import 1.4 million tons. A country that used to control 45% of the global supply market. Look at the northern part of Nigeria. The northern part of Nigeria is the only part of the whole world that the date palm tree grows and produces twice annually, everywhere in the whole world. Yet, from that sector alone, cultivating just 1 million hectares out of the 64 million hectares in the north will generate over $12.7 billion annually for 70 years consistently, and create rooms for the pastoralists to coexist with those who do the clusters, and it will even help us to check deforestation. But the government and those who purport to govern us do not fully understand that without security, without infrastructure in place by way of power that will enable us store those things, and good road and rail network that will allow the farmers from the hinterland to come to the cities, that the economy will not grow. Look at another thing. I run an agri business. I founded one of the biggest agro park in the southeast of Nigeria. We have orders to export things to Dubai and Europe. In fact, the latest order we had was to export 30 tons of bitter cola. But do you know why I've never even bothered to even review the order? To export from Nigeria is almost 30 times what it takes to export from Europe or America. From the customs to the immigration to the police to those agencies that are the exit port. Nigeria is the only country that exported the yam that decayed within the container. The container was at the container of yam was at the park, at the wharf for over 27 days. Ghana is exporting yam that Nigerians are consuming, whereas we are supposed to be the ones exporting it. So the truth is, we have a population, we have hardworking youths, we have the natural resources to generate over $150 billion annually across the whole agro value chain. It does not require rocket science. It's the lowest technology in the whole world, agro technology. But we are not doing it because those that purport to rule us. How can you be talking about growing agriculture when you are averse to total ban on open grazing? In fact, even the poor herdsmen that trek from Katsina to Port Harcourt are even being abused. In the recess, anybody caught abusing a pastoral man, caught allowing somebody to trek with cows should be jailed. But here, from the middle belt to Taraba to Nasarawa, even to the southwest or your state, there is so much insecurity, which has destroyed the opportunities for us to grow the whole value chain. Agric is supposed to be the biggest employer of labor in Nigeria. We have over 110 million Nigerians under poverty, 98 billion under extreme poverty. And the only way we can take them out of extreme poverty is through this lowest hanging fruit in the agro sector. Can they quite low technology? But we need the policy trust, the understanding from those who purport to rule us. But they don't seem to understand. It is never heard of. You can never be talking about agriculture and at the same time talking about open grazing. It's madness.
Turn to Dr. Nnaemeka and ask you also the final words for SMEs for this year. What should we know? And then, is there any way you can help? Is there a mentoring program you have? How can we reach you? Go ahead, sir.
I agree with the last speaker. I tend to tell people that ask me, doctor, we read what you write, we feel the frustration. Why are you not checking out? I said, check out to where? the kind of wealth creating opportunities in Nigeria and Africa, you can't get it anywhere in Europe, Asia, or America. Nigeria is one place that is full of opportunities. I have a mentorship program. We created a group we call the Wealth Master Circle, where we train young entrepreneurs, graduates on how they can be useful to themselves, unemployed, how they can create jobs, those who are doing 9 to 5 jobs, or how they can earn other multiple stream of incomes, saving some of the little that they make from size and wages. And what we did was to aggregate them into cooperatives. See, if you sit down to digest if I say to everybody who cares to listen, problems are well of wealth. If you provide solution is the ladder from that you use to draw from that wealth. If you provide solution, you will draw from that well of wealth. And we are working on this. Entrepreneurs number 2, we need to imbibe the spirit of honesty. We need to live the life that is very contented. I'm a banker and I've been in industry for 21 years. If you look at the life of entrepreneurs who have made it and who have sustained themselves in the line of business that they chose to do, you still see 3 critical things. They understood the businesses, they had the skill and knowledge, they had that staying power, that even when things are not going well, they still stayed, and they had integrity. I give you an example, Cosmos Madoka. For those of us Costaris who know him, he's a young man that came to Lagos under the normal Igbo apprenticeship program, worked with his uncle for 7 years, was not settled, started doing normal of manual job. Today, he is one of the biggest entrepreneurs out of Africa. Consistent. Something happened to him in 1993 under Abacha, under Abacha, 93 to 97, when Abacha had this issue of dual exchange rate. They were supplying him things from Japan on credit, auto manufacturers, and he got wiped out when they merged exchange rate. Of course, it was an extraneous policy that would have made him to tell his creditors, you see, it's not my fault. But this guy had to go back, sell all the assets he accumulated over years to be able to pay off that debt and be in the good books of those creditors. In Nigeria, he's one of the few entrepreneurs that received goods under vendor credit financing without any guarantee, because they know that he will sell and return back their monies. Of course, he has gone into manufacturing now. Opportunities in Africa, despite the policy somersault, despite the insecurity, despite the inconsistencies in government programs, are so huge. First of all, you don't jump into any business without knowledge. You must know your job. Even as a Christian, if you look at the lives of Daniel and the lives of Joseph, they were recorded to be young men who understood, had knowledge, had skills. 2, you must have integrity. Your word must be your bond. A young man came to me from a very wealthy home, and I told him point blank, if your parents and your uncles cannot invest in your dream, if they cannot trust you enough to give you money, you won't have my money. Because if the friends and family business, what we do here is, when you have a good business, when you show understanding of that business, and when people can trust you, trusting you has to, if they make inquiries from your home, from your wife, from your sisters, from your colleagues in the office, from your bosses, can people say that this young man is a man whose word is his bond? When you have these 3 things going for you, people will stake money with you. What I'm trying to do now is to aggregate them into cooperatives so that they can counter guarantee each other. One of my thesis during my doctorate program was on the effectiveness of microfinance as a tool for sustainable poverty reduction in Africa, Nigeria in perspective. I discovered one thing. It was a very pragmatic research program. Out of the have-nots and the have list that we created, on the have list, we had about 30 entrepreneurs, 15 women and 15 men that were empowered. Over 80% of the women returned back all their monies. The 2 that did not return their money did not return it because of issues beyond their control. But 70% of the men did not return their money. It's a cultural thing in Africa. Women are more honest. Women are more sincere. Women are more hardworking. And they have that shame not to be seen, being dragged about.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
No theory to be false. These are factors that we must put into it. Africa is a gold mine. Nigeria is a diamond mine. If we do these 3 things, have knowledge, have integrity, stay focused and resilient, you will draw from the well of wealth in Africa. And it is here.
Thank you.